Today is day 641 of the Arukh HaShulchan Yomi. This week's Arukh HaShulchan Yomi is sponsored for its chus for a shidduch quickly as Zibul Kogan for Yonasan Ezer Ben Chana Feigl. If you would like to sponsor an upcoming shir or more of the Arukh HaShulchan Yomi, please contact me directly. It'd be greatly appreciated. Say we're doing Siman Shin Ayin Beis Chav Test to Shin Ayin Gimel Gimel. Test. Because I've been Rama. Specific test line. Yes, without prepare stomach batlilu. If you happen to fill up a trench with prepares without any specification, they're bottled. They're going to some shamotzer because they could be stockpiled there as a warehouse. They argue. This argues on the first opinion. Should start bittul olam, which requires that there be a bittul forever. It's not being bought for this Shabbos. I forgot the Shabbos you told me hi, it's a warehouse of food you can take from there on Shabbos. It's not the derech to use massive amounts of the fruit in a way that would negate its stopping up the trench. In fact, it says, I'm going to which goes out. Maduk Magmar Paragdab Tivla. The Gemara says talks about Tevel, which is not Meiser. Who had the Otzar? It's not necessarily Tevel. Also, Otzar, a warehouse, has the same halacha. The Mishnah writes, like the Magen Avraham, that no, only pay which are Tevel, which can't use on Shabbos anyway. So big machlek is there. Whether it's even fruit which you could use on Shabbos, it's not Tevel. It's already Meiser, or it's Chutz La'aretz. And nevertheless, since you're not likely to move so many on Shabbos, it's okay. Or only tevel, which you can't remove and use anyway. If the trench got stopped up partially with dirt, etc., which you negate it forever. If there is a 4 tfachim of this dirt in the trench, you have dirt, which is 4 fucking good the other way, so it's like a bridge. But what's marvin yachar either way together or separately. That's until 10 amos, as always. More than this, it is like a breach, which is more than 10 amos. Of course, marvin echab and marvin stein. They only make an air together, they can't make an air separately. If you put on the trench a beam, which is 4 fucking wide, can mean gesher, like a bridge, from the rim of the trench, from rim to rim. It's like an opening. If they want to make it together, if they want to make separate everything. Similarly here, up to 10 amos, it's an opening. Yes, so more than this, it is a breach. They make 1 area, not 2. If you put the beam to the length of the trench, when you diminish it from its width, in other words, you put it parallel, not perpendicular to the trench, but parallel to the trench, no longer 4 fucking wide. If you put it over the entire length of the trench, then its status as a wall is negated, and they must make 1 area. But if it's not the entire length of the trench, then it depends. As it has depended until now. It's like an opening up to 10 amos. As long as it's the least 4 tfachim along the length of the trench. If not, Rav Kumud does nothing. We have to make 2 everything. If the trench to 1 yard is 10 tfachim deep, but the other one is not 10 tfachim deep, or it's equal for both of them. In its depth. Then it's halach is like the wall, which we talked about, which is more accessible to one side than the other side. Your test. Sorry, we'll have it out. God is shel tevin. I call this one. Okay, lamna. God is shel tevin shemen shtei chatzos. If you had a pile of hay between two yards. So if it's 10 foot high, call it Chamar of Latzmo. Each time makes it on its own. The Chitza Gemara is a total wall. Even though eventually they're going to take it, nevertheless, a temporary wall is also a wall. The same is true of a pile of produce or of seeds. If on weekdays less than 10, it became less than 10 tvachim before Shabbos, so I have to make one error. This might be Shabbos, but it became diminished in size on Shabbos. So meaning we say Hol Vutra Miyad Vutra says it's permitted error of Shabbos by Ben Hashmoshos, it's permitted. This might add Eser Amos, if it goes diminished up to 2 Eser Amos, then it's like an opening, and they have the option of doing 1 or 2 erevin. Chos Mashlo Yismail, also Shemechem Mem L'Ten L'Tokubos of Shabbos Mina Tem L'Achil B'Emto. However, as long as it's not diminished from the size, which makes it a wall, now neither side can take from this straw on Shabbos to feed their animals. The Chashin Shemi Yitain, we're afraid he might give kolkach so much actually might measure to the point that it's less than 10 tefachim high. We say what's who's mutar of Shabbos remains mutar for all of Shabbos. It's preferable not to come to such a situation. Even to put the animal next to the pile so to eat from the hay, that's also awesome. The gam chashash muktzah yesh b'zen. It's also because it's possible it's muktzah. You're dochem b'yadayim by making a wall out of it for the Shabbos. But you can stand at a distance from it and kind of like block the animal's passage somewhere else, and then it's forced to eat from the wall. Amatas mechitza ein chashash b'achilos. We're not concerned that the wall is going to become diminished by its eating. It's not going to eat so much as to less than 10 tefachim over the course of 10 amos. The dam is din zel din she's bar b'simin shin chafei blike kuti asavim ayin sham. Boy, that is a long time ago. Simin shin chafei. But says here, okay, brackets now. Important for us. Lamed base. Rush if you call us ten kupas. According to Rush, even before Shabbos, now to put into your basket to take away grain. Chelamid behemoth yadayim also put an animal there deliberately. The chashin shemis might have Shabbos because they were afraid on that. In other words, on Erev Shabbos. The chol doesn't mean on Monday, Tuesday. It means on Friday. The chashin shemis might be Shabbos. Afraid on Erev Shabbos can be diminished. Me'asor tefachim. If a lavadite is not going to notice it. Which a muktzah less for Rosh, but Rosh doesn't hold a muktzah here. It's not a muktzah. Ain't the kasir zoel. It's not like you're breaking down a tent, which would make the stuff which makes the tent muktzah on Shabbos. It's not like that. It's still a pile of grain. Or hay. With a pile of hay between 2 yards. But a pile of grain between 2 houses. So each one made an air for himself. So you can put some of that produce into your basket and give it to eat to your animal deliberately with your own hands. Since there's a ceiling and there's the wall, you're going to notice when it gets very low. 10 fachim over course 10 amos. It goes that saying that if it's up to the part originally goes up to the ceiling, you're going to tell when it becomes too low. Even if it doesn't reach the ceiling, you're going to be able to tell when it gets diminished, and that suffices. Brackets here says, a house which is open to this yard, and another is open to the other yard. And the two chazayas have been aired together. But that he says is the scenario of our sif. It can be that way. You don't need to come out this. It's possible both of them in the same chutzner. On one side of the house, there are 2 ba'abatim who made an erev together. On the other side, there are 2 ba'abatim who made an erev together. She's smiling search fucking. Also, when it comes less than 10 fucking, they're going to answer each other. Shin ein gimel. You have 2 second floor residences opposite each other. You want to make an erev by having a gezuztra. What is the gezuztra? We'll see. Aleph, Yeshamim Shnei Bach Miyasu Erev B'Yachav, Avu Shusharam Mafsi B'nei. Sometimes two houses can make an Erev, even though there's Shusharam between the two of them. Because Shnei Anashim, such two people, Shnei Aliyos, who live in 2 second floors, Zuk and Negazu, one opposite the other, Vrochav Shusharam Mafsi B'nei, and the width of Shusharam between the two of them. Shnei Aliyos, both the Shnei Negazu's trolls, Zuk and Negazu. And for both second floors, there are 2 trolls which extend towards each other. What are these trolls? And the Sarim B'Chavim. These are wide planks. Shebotim Mikos which extend from the walls of the second floors. Zuk and Zu, one opposite the other. Mal Mesorets, and they're 10 fucking off the ground. But in this case, the 2 planks don't reach each other. So what do? So you put another plank between them, which is at least 4 fucking wide. Nas Kapesach comes like an opening. If they want, they can make one Erev together. If they want, they can make an Erev each one independently. The Zeruk Shtechad serves of an Pesach, it's like 2 yards, which have an opening between the 2 of them. So you gotta take that plank, the middle plank. I guess the straws are made out of stone. It says Nes. No, it says Nesa Rochav. So they're all planks. But you have to fix the planks with masmeros, and here's, I'm sure it's on the middle plank. With nails, that it shouldn't wobble. Like land of Shabbos, you can't move on Shabbos. Ain't the Shabbos over Shus Rabbi Mavsik B'neihem? Hi, what about the fact that there's Shus Rabbi between the 2 second floors? And then the man will say, no Shus ain't no Shus Rabbi. You're above 10 Fachim. Above 10 Fachim is no Shus Rabbi. Most times, Simon Shin Mem Hey. V'dafka shows how you Zu connected Zu. That's when the 2 planks on either side are opposite each other. If they're not opposite each other, they're staggered. One's towards east, one towards west. They can't make an Erev together. I feel no they put a plank 420 wide from one to the other. Because the planks are come from one corner to another corner. People don't make openings in the corners. Balkan thinks a demon. It's not the same as a normal Pesach B'Karen Zavis. Because of the Besulam, these Barbara Shin, Besulam Koydim, the Kamish Koyas, Arukh HaShulchan, Mashu Shlomo saying this, it's not really the same case. And also, we learned that when you're doing ladders up to the sides of a wall, they can be staggered as long as there is 4 tvachim on the top of the wall where they can walk. And here at the height in the air, they're not directly opposite each other. The 2 straws. It's not an easy walk. It's not a proper walk. Even it's 4 wide. Afraid that you're going to fall. Also, one is higher than the other. Now, of course, see the 3 tvachim higher or staggered more than 3 tvachim. They're within 3 tvachim of each other. Whether it's the height or whether it's the distance of horizontally or vertically, can be no considered opening. Because lesson 3, it's love. It's as if they are parallel, opposite each other. Rama writes, if this is between the 2, it's not 4 tvachim. I feel blown as a namadinochi. If you don't put in a board between the 2 planks, it's also okay. That which requires that board in the middle. Because the 2 planks coming out of the buildings are distant from each other. But they get reached within 4 tvachim of each other. You don't need the board. Even they don't actually touch each other. They're not more than 4 tvachim apart. Possibly, you can take a large step and step over. They make 1 erev. If they literally touch each other, or they're less than 3 from each other, near at the rock marvin echav l'shnayim. And it's said to be totally connected. You only can make 1 erev, not allowed to make 2 erevim. Time the Sefta, Reish Bereches is the Sefta. Even if it's less than 4 tvachim, you have to still make, and there's a gap, even if there's a gap, it's less than 4 tvachim, they have to make 1 erev. Sefta, quote, you have 2 straws each opposite each other. Ben Zuzur about tvachim, In between the two of them, the fourth Tvachim, Marvin Shnayim Ve'im Marvin Echad, make 2 Erevin, not 1. Pachas Mikan, if it's less than that, Marvin Echad, they make 1 Erev, Ve'im Marvin Shnayim, and not 2 Erevin. Shano. Mayim below Neser. So about where there's no board going between those 2 planks. Long brackets here. The Girs is a read for Rosh Mishnah. The Chalon Gan Ken. Riff Rosh write the same thing about a window. Shkas to change Shteg Zuz Tros because Zu connected Zu. Marvin Echad Ve'em Marvin Shnayim. Pachas Mikan Marvin Shnayim Ve'em Marvin Echad Ayin Sham. No, that's not. I made it wrong. Sorry. The Girs are read for Rosh. Behad Mishnah the Chalon. The Mishnah and Perek Chalon. Gan Kane. It's also this. Because Kain Shteg Zu connected Zu connected Zu Marvin Echad Ve'em Marvin Shnayim. Make 1 Erev, not 2. Pachas Mikan, if it's less than the fourth Tvachim connection, Marvin Shnayim Ve'em Echad Ayin Sham. Kain or Mazim. It's also that way in the Piskei Rosh. Upalatori says the Shlozo Chumi Zem Uma. They don't mention this. But also, what does it mean Pachas Mikan? Marvin Shnayim Ve'em. What does it mean less than what? I would change what they said for language to Tosefta. That takes those Zu connected Zu, Marvin Shnayim, he would have Marvin Shnayim Ve'em Marvin Echad. Okay? But unless there's less than a gap of 4. Or whatever. Yushan Mishnah Zu, Omer Yushan says, East Tani Marvin Shnayim Ve'em Echad. Some say make 2 Erevin, not 1. East Tani Marvin Echad Ve'em Shnayim. Some say 1, not 2. Marvin Shnayim Pachas Mikan Beneser. The one that says 2, it's for him, Pachas Mikan means less than the proper size of the board. That's it. It makes 2 Erevin. Echad, you make 1. Pachas Mikan means less than that. Because there's less than 4 in the vacant space. Okay, the Girs also very confusing. Now, normally it would stop here because today is Shin Ayin Gimel up to Shin Ayin Gimel Gimel. But since we only have 1 sif left, Kedarkenu B'Kodesh, occasionally, most of the time, we will finish the sif. Simen. Fisa Dinik Zushos Kenu. So this is Zushos in short. Shemegil Zuzu, if they touch each other, Pachas Mishlosha, less than 3 talking between the 2 of them, Marvin Echad Ve'em Mishnayim, we have to make 1 Erev, not 2. In Lo Shemitzasa Magil Zulazu Mitzasa Emagils, unless part of them touch and part of them don't touch. Uvamesh Magils Enkadios Semesa Amo, and that which they touch, there isn't more than 10 amos. The Oz Imotzu Marvin Echad, then they can make 1 Erev together. Imotzu Marvin Mishnayim, they can make 2 because it's a Pesach. If they're more than 4 apart and there's no board between the 2 planks, Marvin Shnayim Ve'echad, they can make 2 Erevin, not 1. If they're less than 4 from each other, Lefiach Tosefta Marvin Echad V'lo Shnayim. You make 1 Erev, not 2. Avra was saying about the Tosis Kosvu. The Pachas Marvin Rotzu Marvin Echad Rotzu Marvin Shnayim. Even if it's less than 4, you can still make 2 Erevin if you want. Shadas and Nesim, the Mishnah Bura says that they want Marvin, and that's how the Mishnah Bura paskins, like we said previously. Okay, Shadas and Nesim is also you put a board from one to the other. Ima Nesim Bachas Mi Eser Amos. Oh, Yud B'Shaveh. If the board is 10 amos or less, it's not the entire side of the 2 of the Gzustros. You must have an Echad. They want to make 1 Erev. Motzei want to make 2. And Nesem B'Luam, if the plank, the board uniting the planks is the entire length of the Gzustros, or Yosim Eser Amos, or it's more than 10 amos, Marvin Echad, they must make 1 Erev, V'lo Shnayim, and not 2.